Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. This is iAllegedly. And I've got a good one for you today. And this is one of those videos that I can't believe this is even legal. And we're going to talk about our data being sold right from under our nose. So please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Today we have a sponsor, Dr. Marty. But let's get right into it. Okay, think about this. Dr. Marvin is one of my favorite, subscribers because he sends me great, thoughtful news stories all the time. And this first one is crazy because think about this. There was a law passed in 1994 when Slick Willie was president where they could sell your data from the DMV, which I thought was completely illegal. There have been people that have been tracked down by the DMV and, Rebecca Schaefer, if you remember that actress that got killed because the lunatic found her home address. Well, you can buy data. These data miners and data brokers can go out there and buy our personal data, name, address, driver's license number, phone numbers, your email address, everything. And they buy it for pennies on the dollar for each name. So absolutely crazy. But think about this. It is labeled as a Privacy Protection Act. How is that private? And in Florida, this is a huge problem because they're taking your data and selling it, right out from under your nose. So unbelievable, man, unbelievable. But is this legal? Who knows? They say it is, but think about this. This is who buys it. Insurance companies, data brokers. We talked about Delete Me earlier this month, and to get your data off the data list, you should do that now more than ever. I'll leave that link below as well. But you have to check this out because I was floored with this. How about personal injury attorneys? Get a list of car accidents, people that had injuries. One thing that you see on social media quite a bit right now is, hey, were you in an accident that wasn't your fault? Contact us and we'll get you top dollar. And they don't say that with the law firm. What they do is they sell that data to as many lawyers as they can right now. So it's one thing if you opt in to doing that, but the problem with it is people can't afford this right now. They can't afford their lives right now. Now, again, I was floored by this. Did you guys know that this was even legal? Read the story below that he sent me because it just blew my mind, okay? The next thing is you're seeing more and more people that cannot afford to live their lives the way that they did even a year ago. Things have changed so much. Now, great story below about how this is going to be the greatest transfer of wealth ever. You're going to see more millennials get real estate and assets given to them by their parents. But will they be able to afford it? And the answer is no. Now, I want to give you a perfect example. I have a friend whose stepmother died. Stepmother loved my buddy and his brother and left them a lot of money and left them, part interest in the house. There's 5 people that own this house in Dana Point, California. Okay? Now, the house is worth between $6 and $7 million. Okay? The problem with the house is that nobody can afford to maintain the house. The heating bill alone, $1,800 a month with nobody living there. Think about how big the house is, because you got to have the lights on. You got to have certain things on. You got to have the security system. You got to have that. That's $1,800 a month. The gas bill, they finally got down to $600 a month, but you got to keep it because it's on the water. You got to keep it at a certain comfortable temperature so the place doesn't get dilapidated worse than it is. The insurance, $40,000 a year, okay? 40 grand. Well, we just can't afford this house, Dan. So none of us are going to have to sell it. So they should sell it now while there's still suckers out there that will buy a $6 to $7 million house. But that is the shape of things. More and more people are inheriting properties right now that cannot afford the properties, cannot afford the lifestyle. That's the problem right now. They can't afford the taxes. Now, the property taxes on a $6 to $7 million house right now, as they work on this right now, think about that. If it's just 1.2%, and they value it at $6 million, you got $60,000 a year in property taxes. Oh, you know, I remember, you know, the TV show Two and a Half Men, and Charlie Sheen says to Adam, Alan, his brother, I think I'm gonna die, but if I do, will you give me the house? Yeah, don't forget the $50,000 a year in property taxes. What? Isn't that paid for? Not this year it is, you know. So the problem with it is that people don't realize the money that it costs to have these expensive homes. The next thing is there is such a glut of advertising and a complete shakedown in advertising revenue falling off. And in the first 2 months of 2024, you're seeing people that cannot afford to advertise, and they are cutting back left and right. Now, I'm floored by this, okay? I think that it's, you know, been a long time coming, but people just don't have the money to do this anymore. So they're cutting back. Now, cable news, this is great. I mean, CNN, AMC, all these places that have, you know, different news organizations are saying that there's going to be a complete shakedown on hiring people and new contracts moving forward, because these people are paid, you know, millions of dollars, and they shouldn't be paid that much. But speaking of ad revenue, when you're talking about AMC, the Discovery Network, when you have an ad agency that says that their ads are off almost 20% already, that's a huge difference, guys. So 2024 is going to be a complete shakedown. They can lie to you. You can tell yourself it's not bad. Business is great. This is the greatest economy in the world. Okay. I was invited to the Los Angeles Angels pre-event, which they brought Adam Kennedy, who was the MVP of the American League Championship Series. He's a guy that hit 3 home runs in a game in 2002. They led that to go on to win the World Series in 2002. And because I have season tickets, they brought me out and got me to go on the field and stuff like that. And I'll show you a little bit about that later, because it was amazing and everybody was great. But what you're looking at right now, guys, is the fact that the stadium, they're like, hey, Dan, do you want to look at the this 10-game package? Do you want to look at, you know, getting dugout suites? Now, you can sit there and say it's all Shohei Ohtani. Since he left, people don't have the money to buy Angel tickets right now. People don't have the money to advertise. The advertising revenue is going to be off a ton. Now, the thing about Shohei Ohtani, when he was with the team, guys, there was all this Japanese advertising, Japanese cat treats and dog treats and, you know, Koze, Japanese cologne, all this shenanigans that you'd have around the stadium, you know. And it's funny. Shohei Ohtani deferred $68 million a year of his salary to where after he was playing baseball, okay? He did a Bobby Bonilla. The greatest thing about this is that, do you know Shohei Ohtani last year made $40 million with this endorsement? The state of California is going to get their tax money. They're going to get plenty of tax money from that guy. So share your thoughts on this stuff so far. But I had no idea our data was sold like this anymore. And it's awful. So, you know, you need to look at the delete me too. Take a look at that to get yourself off those data broker lists. Let's talk about our sponsor, Dr. Marty. Think about this. There are millions of dogs in this country. And as they get older, we think that, you know, their bad skin, their bad teeth, bad breath is all part of the deal. And it doesn't have to be. It's all based on what we feed the dogs. Now, Dr. Marty is one of the world's leading holistic veterinarians who believes in a natural remedy to feed our dogs. Now, think about this. What are you putting in your dog's mouth is a big deal. He has set up a video for us. That's dogfoodexposed.com/Dan. Use the link below. It's so easy to find the video from there. But watch the video, because there's so many things that we're feeding our dogs that we shouldn't be feeding them. So take a look at it today. Again, dogfoodexposed.com/Dan. But think about this. The aging, the bad skin, the bad breath, there's something you can do about that. And it all gets down to what you put in the dog's mouth. Check it out today. I love baseball, and 3 years ago, my late girlfriend Lisa bought me for my birthday the half-season pack for the Los Angeles Angels. And we got some amazing seats that were just unbelievable. Now, Lisa in college had the greatest job ever for a very pretty young woman, and she worked at Anaheim Stadium. And what she would do is, this is pre-internet, guys, she would show people where their season tickets were. Hi, oh John, you want to have season tickets? She'd walk you up to the seats and sit you in the seats and say, this is what it's going to be like watching the game from, which I always thought was one of the coolest things ever. And she just raved about the job. But again, they were very nice, treated me great, but take a look at this. So I got invited to an MVP event at Angel Stadium. I'm in the visitor clubhouse, and they're going to talk, about the season and what's going on. But they set up the visitors clubhouse with everybody's name and got gifts and everything like that. It's very cool, very nice. I'll tell you guys more after we're done.
The core of the team: Erstad, Garrett Anderson, Percival, Salmon, Gloss. Well, I mean, that was all a draft development group, and that was kind of the Angels, how they cut their teeth, and that's what kind of created that whole good core of players. Was the draft and development of that era, and then kind of the missing piece, besides me, was probably Mike Socia coming in and bringing in his staff, and they kind of solidified how the organization was going to be run, kind of, just kind of the identity of it. And I was very lucky to be able to come over and be a part of kind of something, not at the very beginning, but kind of in the middle there, and then a few years in to be able to kind of get to the final World Series there.
Adam Kennedy, Trent Rush. It was great to get invited to the Angel game. But thank you, man.
Of course.
ALCS champion, 3 home runs in 1 game, and Trent Rush, who's the spokesman for the Angels.
Party on the radio.
Yes, exactly. Okay, but great, so much. It was a fantastic day. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Here's your cabinet.
Right? Someone's
Brought to you by the visiting players.
Yeah, those are bats right there. I guarantee you put all the
Absolutely.
car marks.
2 feet away. Got my clearance.
I've already had my time when we were getting clean in the stadium.
I take it as well.
Well, that invited them.
So this is very cool. They invited us to Anaheim Stadium. We got to walk on the field. We got to have lunch. We got to hear Adam Kennedy talk and Trent Rush. It was absolutely fantastic. But it's very exciting. This place has been ripped apart, and they had motocross here and all the off-road trucks. It's just nice to see this stuff, guys. I love baseball. I love the Angels. And my seats are right over there. So right there, right behind the Angels dugout. So we'll have to have a giveaway and have to invite you guys out to this, but it's very, very cool. I am sick of shrinkflation. It's just ridiculous right now. Take a look at this. We have talked about shrinkflation so much, and people send me examples, but I want to show you guys something that was unbelievable. A friend of mine came over to my house, says, hey, let me clean your house. Oh, you need paper towels. Let me go buy you paper towels. Now I show up, and I'm like, wow, you really used a lot of paper towels because of how thin the roll was. And he's like, no, buddy, that's a full-size roll that's unopened. Are you kidding me? So look at this, guys. This is absolutely insane, okay? The 6-pack, look at how small they are now, okay? It's ridiculous now. So there is no value. I'd rather pay more to get real value. You're seeing it with, soap to wash your clothes. You're seeing it with dish soap. The containers are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Potato chips where the bags are half full. But this is insane, guys. So are you seeing this? Share something with us. Send me the pictures because this is too much. Never underestimate how bad scammers will get and what they will do to try to screw people out of money. there is a man, John Rooney, who's owned a property in Clay County near Black Creek for decades, 3 acres of land. Drove by one day last month and realized that there are backhoes and equipment on the property, and he's like, what's this? So, he walks out, starts talking to the guy. He's like, yeah, we bought the property, and we're going to develop a house on it. He's like, well, the hell you are? No, you're not. So read the story below because it's insane. Now, what happened was they fabricated a deed. They fabricated his driver's license, but they misspelt his name. Instead of John Rooney, it was John Romey, R-O-M-E-Y, instead of R-O-O-N-E-Y. And the money was, they got $35,000 for 3 acres of land, which is insane, okay? The kangaroo judge in New York wouldn't even think that was fair. But the idea with this was that the courts, the Better Business Bureau, the local authority said, you know what, these guys were pretty sophisticated because they made it look like it was you selling the property. And he had no involvement in it. They faked his driver's license. They faked everything about this. And the money was shipped offshores and out of state. And by doing that, it made it so that he was, the victim of really righteous identity theft. But this is the beginning of this, guys. You're going to see more and more things like this in the future, and I mean, just crazy. The geese are freaking out. So, share yourself. Union Pacific has layoffs. Another 1,000 people are going to be laid off from the union for the railway division. Now, think about this, guys. 1,000 railway workers. Things aren't being shipped like they were. There is a recession when it comes to shipping right now. And you have people that are not shipping things like they used to, but another 1,000 workers. The railway union is also one of the best unions out there. They get paid the most. They're so supportive of their members. And right now you're seeing that these guys, 1,000 of them are losing their jobs right now. So just crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So, Mauricio Umansky, he is a celebrity realtor. In fact, in Newport Beach, he had the house listed for $36 million. It ended up going into foreclosure at $22 million that my buddy Doug posted. And it was crazy because, you're starting to see people like this that have just said everything is great are starting to get realistic where they're saying, you know what, it's kind of a problem. People are overpriced right now. People are paying too much for properties, but you're going to see people and real estate that doesn't get completed right now. And people are so desperate. I think about my friend's son, who's a really good guy, a really smart guy, but I'm like, the greatest thing in the world was him not getting that house because he would have had an $8,000 a month house payment for the rest of his life. You want to put some stress on your marriage? Honey, can I take time off? No, we need to make, $2,000 a week just to make the house payment. So Mauricio says you're gonna see prices stay high until there's an influx of inventory, which he sees coming fairly soon. So what does that mean? When is the influx of inventory going to happen? So let me know, guys, what you think about this stuff, because the scammers, I'm telling you this, guys, right now, one of the greatest things I have on my credit cards is I have, every time I charge, and like when I pay for parking and it's $3 to park, it sends me a text message. You can think that that's a complete waste of time, but I don't have issues. I don't have worries that this card's going to be used for things. It's for my, GoDaddy account and my different, domain names. I don't have to worry that there's going to be an abuse to it. You have to set yourself up in such a way and always monitor your banking information, your insurance information. And that's the other thing, is I had somebody send me a horrific story about a family member was starting to have bouts of dementia, and they thought he had life insurance, and because he had it on auto pay and didn't have enough money in the account, guess what? The life insurance didn't get paid. So make sure you're aware of things like this. Now, I'm not looking for somebody's dead money, But if that's going to be the thing that's going to make everybody happy and make everybody solid, make sure you look at, the older people around you, their finances, spend a little bit of time on that too, okay? Let me know what you think about this stuff. I'm going to finish this video with these last few stories. And the first one is, you're starting to see more and more restaurants that are going out of business. In Macomb County, there's an Outback that went out of business that just shut its doors overnight. And between now and Memorial Day, regardless of where you live in the country, you're going to see more and more restaurants that are going to close at a moment's notice. So I'm telling you, make sure you're up to date in your payroll, make sure you're getting paid. If you work at these restaurants, don't let them play games with you. Hey, you'll have your paycheck next Tuesday. None of that stuff, guys. You have a problem, you go to the labor board immediately. Now, Kyle Bass is a billionaire. Kyle Bass was staying in a New York hotel and he ordered a waffle, some bacon, a little coffee, a little orange juice, and it was $85. $85 for breakfast for room service. Now, that's outrageous. And he shared this and said, this is just outrageous. I'm never gonna do this again. Well, people were like, well, welcome to New York. This is what New York is like. That's insane, guys. It's too much. I hate room service because of the expense, okay? There's things that I can, you think Mr. Bass would have a little pull? Hey, I'm not paying for this stuff. Bring it up to me, okay? Because Dan gets that. Do you know what I mean? It's like really crazy. My friends love, let's go with Dan. We'll go get some free food and hang out with them. How come Kyle Bass, the billionaire, doesn't have that kind of pull? Okay? Let me know about that. Now, Denise sent me something I'm going to close this video out with, which is insane. And that is, when was the last time you cut yourself on a jagged piece of metal, a nail, the gate whipped open and, you scratch your hand? Oh, you better get a tetanus shot. Well, there is a shortage of tetanus shots right now, so much so that the CDC says you should go out and get a tetanus shot now over waiting. Is that nuts? I'm like, that's crazy. Read the story below. So again, if you guys have medication that you take regularly, it took me months to get this, but there's things I take because I'm the fat muffin man, and I went out and got my medication so that I have an extra month's supply, okay? So you can play games with me, play games with the insurance company, whatever, but again, final thing is that I work 7 days a week, and there's some stuff that we're doing for the TV stuff. So it looks like I'm going to produce one less video a week for you guys. Instead of producing 7 videos, I'm going to produce 6 videos a week, like I did in the old days, okay? So I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but man, oh man, when I took my birthday off, that felt really good. Not having to get up and not stressing myself out and just taking a pure day off. So please, enjoy. Make sure you join the email list. And onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon, okay?